What insider secrets does the company you work for not want its customers to find out? I work for a casino. Pro tip, don't go. Casino employee here too. The dealer wants you to win. Unless you're a stiff. Our Chinese manufacturers will be more than willing to supply us with a certificate, assuring us and our clients that the cardboard and paper packaging for our new line of electronics is 100% recycled and eco-friendly. 1000% bullshit. I called our Chinese suppliers for a food grade certificate for the food grade conveyor belt they sold us. They sent over a ROHS certificate saying their product could be safely disposed of in a landfill. Sadly, the auditor accepted that. I recently started working for a cleaning firm. My boss basically said, it doesn't actually have to be clean, it just has to look clean. Edit, yeah, what I meant was it doesn't have to be sanitized, it just has to look clean. English is not my first language, so I didn't realize there was a significant difference. Pretty much my motto as a kid every time my mom told me to clean my room. Getting paid to just shove everything in the closet. Where do I sign up? At your local military recruitment office. Former sandwich shop employee. They put soy sauce in the tuber salad. There, that's the secret recipe. Manager made me sign an NDA about it. Spy sauce. Shh. Tuber salad doot. I work at a big store in the Netherlands, and at the end of every advertisement week we have to make sure the shelves are almost empty so it will look like almost everything sold out and the products we sell are popular. In reality we still have a lot in the stockroom, but this way people will buy it faster because 1. It's on sale. 2. It's almost sold out. 3. It's a popular product. 4. They think the company as a whole is doing a great job. It isn't really a big secret, but I thought it's quite funny. This is why customers ask if you have more in the back and then employees get mad. This is true of academia in general, but you have no idea how much money textbook companies spend on wooing professors. Just to give a couple examples, the last time I went to the big conference in my field, which was held in Atlanta that year, Bedford Street. Martin rented out the Atlanta Braves Stadium, bussed everyone at the conference there, about 2,000 people, gave us a free buffet that stretched through 3 rooms. We were up in the box seats, with an open bar, and they opened up all the games in the back hallways for us to play. Pearson's party was far more modest. They rented out the Coke Museum, gave us all free tours, and their free buffet only stretched through 1 freaking room, but with much classier food, but still had an open bar. Just in case you were wondering why those textbooks of yours are so expensive. Duck Pearson. So while my math lab sucks balls in every way, shape and form, they are busy renting out the Coca-Cola Center and giving people fancy dinners. And that's just their shitty behavior at the college level. Nobody here is talking about them waving their donk around in public K-12 education. Big technology companies providing really slick services, especially where you buy things online, make it look like they really have their shit together. Most of them don't. Their back-end systems are held together by virtual rubber bands and glue, and their staff stumble from one fire to another because the management teams never stop trying to develop new features to allow technical debt to be repaid. They public-facing end is just fancy enough to hide that all from you. This is as true for AWS as it is for Ticketmaster. Jesus Christ, if Ticketmaster looks like it has its shit together, I don't want to know what their back-end is like. It's a bigger shit show than you can imagine. Trusting Ticketmaster with your credit card info is like trusting Michael J. Fox with your fine china. I used to work for IBM. It was well known within IBM that all projects would be significantly understaffed. This meant that the people working on those projects would work their asses off. We were all salaried employees, so we made no more money by working 80 hours per week compared to the normal 40 hours per week. IBM did make more money, however, since most of our projects were billed as time and materials, effectively hourly. When some internal people started complaining about the excessive overtime, IBM offered them the option of becoming an hourly employee. This meant that they no longer had access to healthcare, 401k etc., but they would be making significantly more money, in some cases more than doubling their previous salary, since they would be getting paid for every hour worked. IBM didn't think many people would choose the hourly option, thinking that their benefits plan was enough to keep people there as salaried employees. Of those that were offered the option, something like 95% chose to become hourly. Every single person that chose the hourly option was fired within 1 month. That meant that some projects that were already understaffed were even more understaffed. Many projects were cancelled or delayed because IBM chose to use these employees as an example of what happens when you complain too loudly. The garlic butter we put on our pizza crust is, in fact, garlic margarine. There's no dairy in it at all. I'll get customers calling in every once in a while who ask for soy cheese and no garlic butter, and if I'm feeling nice, I'll let them in on the secret they can enjoy that garlic goodness without worrying. Garlic butter just sounds more appetizing than the truth. I take donations at Goodwill. We throw away a good 90% of what we get. Once upon a time I worked at a Goodwill. People think the clothes that are sold are washed. The clothes are not washed. I once was putting stuff away and found a dirty menstrual pad stuck to the crotch of a pair of jeans. Yeah, definitely not washed. It's how they get that specially curated Goodwill smell. You don't have to get a GED. It's just one type of high school equivalency, but GED is synonymous with that concept so people don't know there are other options. Pearson likes it that way because they can charge $120 per test, with most of that money going to Pearson. Pearson doesn't want you to know that, depending on availability, you can also take the higher CT or the TASC battery of tests for half the price or less. Until a few years ago, before Pearson stepped in, the GED cost $10 to $20 in most places. Edit, not all colleges accept all forms of high school equivalency. And often the higher CT or TASC can be almost as expensive as the GED. Unfortunately it's complicated and you have to do your research. Depending on where you live, you might be screwed either way. Added context because I didn't expect this to blow up. For decades the GED was dirt cheap, because people who need a GED are usually broke. And then magically when education giant Pearson showed up, everybody had to charge 10 times as much because one of the easiest ways to get rich in America is to exploit poor people. Scientist here. About 50% of all published results cannot be reproduced in another lab. A lot of statistics are tweaked with to get results that are statistically significant, which is skimming the edge of what's legal and what is not. P-hacking man, it's gotten out of control. I just watched a series of master's student thesis presentations and 8 out of 10 of them had results based off of statistical analyses with holes big enough I could have driven a truck through. What I find really funny is that it was obvious that 99% of the audience just accepted the information, didn't ask questions and gave standing ovations all day long. It felt like a elementary school science fair, but for adults. One of my Facebook friends interviewed for a teaching position at the school district I work for. She was nervous and awaited the news with 100% more anxiety than she should have. The teacher shortage we have here is so bad we'll pretty much take anyone that's completed their certification, including people that have just obtained it and have never stepped foot in a classroom before. The sad thing is, I believe the shortage has more to do with how the state handles education and how teachers are treated. They demand higher and higher expectations with no increase in wages. The top of the industry get paid very well. Teachers get paid donk. Then the good teachers who have been doing it for a while and are doing well are being pushed out because they cost too much. What you are left with are a bunch of inexperienced teachers being pushed very hard and are doing the best they can with what little they get. I worked for a home security company. 2 big secrets. 1. About 90% of the salesmen are lying douchebags that will say anything to get you to sign up and then think they can hold a contract against you. But if you complain enough to the right people, the legal department will cancel your contract outright. 2. The equipment is super cheap, despite the fact that they tell you that you are basically paying for the equipment over the length of your contract so that you don't have a huge upfront cost. The parts for an average home with an 8-piece system, panel included, only run about $800 at cost, if that, but it depends on the stuff you get, but you will pay out several thousand over the length of your initial 3 or 5 year contract. Any extensions on top of your initial contract with no new equipment or services is money straight into the pocket of the company. Monitoring ends up costing the company a few cents a day when you break enough systems across enough operators. If peace of mind is worth that to you, then go ahead and sign up. Monitoring service is excellent but the equipment is shit. A long time ago I worked in a pet store at a mall. The company's motto was the customer comes first, which is a kind of ducked up motto to have when you're selling, live animals. They obviously cared more about sales than the animal's welfare, and would push rabbit sales around Easter even though buying a rabbit just because they are cute around a particular holiday is a terrible idea. They also sold a number of exotic small animals that I'm pretty sure would have actually made terrible pets due to being nocturnal and high strung. In short, don't shop at pet stores. Your local animal shelter has your new best friend waiting for you, for much cheaper or maybe even free. The sustainability policy is not about environment at all, it's about cost reduction. I don't think anybody believes that companies are putting in less plastic in their bottles or washing your towels at the hotel less because they care. Same reason lawmakers are now supporting marijuana legalization in multiple states. They don't give two shits about public opinion and social issues. They just watched Colorado and Washington start raking in money and they want to get in on the ground floor. If those states' legalization measures didn't create a substantial revenue flow, it wouldn't even be on the ballot in any state this November. I work at a very large farming company that grows and packages a certain vegetable, hint, Bugs Bunny. The store brand and the private label brand right next to it are from the same field and there is no difference between the product in it. Domino's pizza tracker isn't accurate. Employees can enter shit on the computer to make your order to appear at a different stage than it actually is. The horror. Seriously, 2 weeks ago I ordered Domino's for the last time in my life. After 10 minutes it was on delivery. 45 minutes later I call and ask, "Hey, where's my food?" She puts the phone down for 15 seconds, without muting it I might add. Yeah, the driver just left. Call back another 45 minutes later. Different person picks up, "Hey, I've been waiting over an hour and a half. Where's my pizza?" "Oh, I'm so sorry, that driver was in an accident, worry making it." Pizza arrives after 2 hours, 15 minutes. "Hey, this ticket says the pizza was done 2 hours ago." Delivery guy, "Oh no, we put the time an hour back so they get out sooner. This shit is cold. It's been 2.5 hours when it said it was out 2 hours ago. I'm complaining to corporate and doing a chargeback on my credit card." Tips him for bringing it. Slams door. I call corporate as soon as they open. They tell me, "Oh yeah, we have had a lot of complaints about that location. Thanks for the input." Hangs up.